everyone, welcome to the Hannahcast. My god, we have been having so many horrible technical difficulties as of late, and already it kind of looks like my stream was lagging a bit, although let's see if everything's going as smoothly as planned. And, looks like, looks like everything is running smoothly today, guys. I'm not sure if I'm able to share right now because my browser is already just screwy right now. But yeah, guys, welcome to episode I think 19 of the Hannahcast. I think it's 19. Yep, it's episode 19. And so yeah, guys, welcome to the 19th episode of the Hannahcast. 11 minutes late again. Sorry about that. The software is just like. Ugh. But we once again have Joel with us, who is, as of just a few minutes ago, a college graduate, everybody. Let's welcome Joel here. Yay!
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Yeah, congratulations on your graduating college and stuff and whatnot. It's definitely more than I've accomplished and stuff like that. So, like, seriously, that's great.
It's cool, but honestly, like, it hasn't really hit me yet. I'm kind of just like, oh, okay. Now it just means I gotta go look for a job, and, well, I have stuff planned out for the summer, but after that I should probably focus on my actual, like, what I want to do. But, yeah.
Man, yeah, it's that crazy point in our lives and whatnot. But we have quite a few topics for you guys today. But before we get to our topics, I want to let you know that don't if your subscribe button if the subscribe button right there is seems to be a little bit red, then why don't you click it? Click it to make sure that that subscribe button is gray, so that you can be part of the Hannahcast people. Yes. And also, why don't I give this video a like? I still have not put a like image on there, and I've still not put a bell button on there. I really should do that. Man, I can't do anything right now. But, yeah. Why don't you consider giving this video a like and also ringing that clicking that bell button so you can be notified of future uploads and streams. Also, why not consider supporting the Patreon account, which is patreon.com/ChristianTylerHannah. There, you have two key tiers. One of them is $2, where for $2 a month you can get your name in the beginning of my videos, and there's a $5 tier every month, which is you get to have you get to experience all the other things we have regarding the channel or whatnot, or basically it's like, you get some extra stuff. Like, at some point when this lockdown is finished, I gotta do an audio commentary of some bad movie or whatever, and with a guest or whatnot, because we're gonna start uploading some audio commentaries of movies, especially the bad ones, because those are going to be some real fun. And see what's going on here. Also, if you can't support us on Patreon, why don't you tip us at least $5 on Stream Elements? Streamelements.com/ChristiansReviews/tip. The minimum is $5, and we will definitely read your message on there. Just overall some fun things. Also, I've also forgot to mention this when it came to subscribing and liking the video and stuff. But I want this channel to get over 1,000 subscribers, because then we will be able to start collecting super chats into the stream. And if you download the Google Rewards app on your phone, then you can start taking little brief surveys that they will give you, where Google will give you Google Play revenue, and you can use those for super chats, which would be great. And again, I'm not sponsored or anything. I just think that would be a really cool thing we could have going on here, especially once we get to 1,000 subscribers. Because once I get to 1,000 subscribers, that's when I can start taking super chats. And we want to try to get to 1,000. And Also, if you want to hear my other thoughts on things, and whatnot, just on pretty much anything, then follow my Twitter at Mr. C Hannah. There's some underscores there, but if you see the how do I describe it? If you see the it's Mr. M, it's Mr. underscore C underscore Hannah. I mean, it's pretty simple like that. But yeah. Anyway, guys, we got quite a few topics today, and right now we're gonna be discussing something that broke last week, which is regarding National Treasure. Now, as we know, National Treasure just launched on Disney Plus. I've still not watched National Treasure. I do want to at some point, but it stars the glorious Nicolas Cage. Oops, I should probably put this here. But yeah, National Treasure. It's become like a cult classic amongst film fans and whatnot, especially those of like the 2000s. And yeah, everyone's been wanting National Treasure 3 and whatnot, and so yeah. But however, it's been forever since we've gotten another National Treasure movie, and we haven't gotten we haven't gotten National Treasure 3, and also but whatever. Jerry Bruckheimer did say, like, who's the producer of National Treasure, said that we're working on National Treasure 3, although they've been saying that for years now. But here's another interesting thing. He also said that Disney Plus is going to be doing a National Treasure series, a TV series based on National Treasure, but with a younger cast. I'm not exactly sure what that means, or whatever. Like, I don't know if it's just like a completely new cast, or if like there's still going to be Nicolas Cage there somewhere. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Disney Plus doing like a National Treasure series?
It's better than I could have imagined. I'm super stoked that they're because listen, when was the last film? Like 2008.
Yep.
Okay, so that came out good, like going on 12 years ago, and I wanted another film. Like I didn't like the second one as much as the first, but like I definitely went back after a few years and watched it, and just I enjoyed it just as much as the first. It was actually better in my opinion. But I still like the first. Overall, I thought like the concept of what they were trying to go for was better, but I still enjoyed the first one the most. But like obviously that they're making a show is just, I don't know. Like I read that they're gonna mix the two. Like they're gonna make it as if the show runs into the movie. Is that what I think? That's what I read from the article. Hold on, I want to find this article again now. Because like they're bringing back the original cast of,
like what website was this?
The one you sent me.
Oh, because I did hear they were still trying to do National Treasure 3, but again they've been saying that for years now. We don't know for sure if they're ever going to pull that, like do that. But
yeah, well it was on Joe Blow. Let me make sure I get my facts right. But either way, it's super cool. I think the reason why he hasn't been around to get to it was because the director was on Bad Boys for Life.
Wait, really? Wow.
That.
Well, I mean, I can definitely say that at least when it comes to like reviews and box office, it probably paid off because Bad Boys for Life like easily got the. I still really want to see Bad Boys for Life because I love the first two, especially Bad Boys 2. But like it's strange. It's so strange how this last one they did, like Bad Boys for Life. It made the
they got the writer from it. Excuse me, I just wanted to correct that. The writer for Bad Boys for Life, they got the writer for the Disney Plus series, I believe, and the movie. I want to make sure. Like, hold on, because like I'm forgetting everything. Yeah, they have the writer from Bad Boys.
Is it for the movie or the TV? Like the third movie or the TV show of National Treasure?
Well, we know this is what it says. What's been revealed so far? We know that director John Turtlebob's National Treasure 3 has Bad Boys for Life writer Chris Bremer in charge of penning the script, which is currently still in the process of being written.
Okay, so it's probably just he's just writing the movie, which again, considering how Bad Boys for Life got pretty good reviews, I mean easily the best reviews out of the entire franchise. I'd say that's a pretty strong win for National Treasure 3. But what do you think about them doing a National Treasure TV show? And like, again, it said that it was going to have a younger cast, so I don't know if this means that they're still going to have Nicolas Cage or not. But what do you think?
I think they're gonna at least. They may keep the original cast in there a little bit. They may put them in the beginning, like the first episode and the last episode, just as like a grab, so that when the movie comes out, like that's who you'll really want to go see. You know what I mean? Like they got to put them in there somewhere.
I mean,
maybe or maybe not. Maybe they'll just kind of do their own thing, which is it wouldn't strike me as odd for Disney Plus to do something like that. So overall, as a concept, I enjoy it. I want to see. I love National Treasure. It's something I've been waiting 12 years for. 12 years.
Like I wouldn't really be shocked if they brought in the original cast, at least for like, or at least Nicolas Cage for like an episode or two, because I mean, Disney is going hard on with Disney Plus. Like, I mean, with the huge cast they got, like for Mandalorian, even the directors, and with these Marvel shows, hell, even the animated show they're gonna do, Marvel's What If, they're gonna bring even some of the biggest A-list talent to come back and voice their roles. Like Samuel L. Jackson's gonna voice Nick Fury, and like whenever he appears, Chris Hemsworth is still gonna be Thor. Like pretty much everyone's gonna be coming back for the animated series Marvel's What If. So it's not like they would, like, if they would still get, like, Samuel. I mean, granted, it's a little bit different that Samuel L. Jackson would be voicing Nick Fury in an animated series for like an episode. I mean, granted, I don't know how many episodes Nick Fury's in What If, but, still being able to get, Samuel L. Jackson for an episode of What If, I mean, I'm pretty sure they would still, they could probably get Nicolas Cage to come by for an episode or two of National Treasure, if it's in the same universe or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, at some point I really do need to watch National Treasure, because, everyone's been saying, how much National Treasure is so cool, and it is a really cool concept. And, it's Nicolas Cage, so, I mean, unless it's Left Behind, then you're going to get something fun out of him. So, yeah, guys, what do you think of the possibility of National Treasure 3? Do you think it's going to happen at this point? Do you think it's not going to happen? And what do you think of the idea of them doing a Disney Plus National Treasure series? And do you think, do you think they should get Nicolas Cage to come back for his role for an episode or two? Let me know in the comments below or in the chat, and let me know your thoughts. So, yeah. Wait. It looks like I'm still... Let's see... Oh yeah, no, I have 3 viewers. Yep, there we go. Yeah. On to the next topic. Tom Cruise. He is quite possibly one of the one of the greatest action stars ever. I think he's probably it's really close. I think it's really close, but like between him and Jackie Chan. In terms of like, not only just acting capability, but it's also like, the crazy shit they will do in movies. Tom Cruise over the past 10 years has been trying to one-up himself with every film he does. From climbing the world's tallest tower in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol to hanging off to the side of a plane in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, to pretty much going like being rocked around in a plane for the Mummy, to in Mission Impossible Fallout, he starts he actually skydives from a real helicopter, and even the cameramen are doing that, to dangling off of a helicopter in Mission Impossible Fallout, jumping off of one building to another, like legit in Mission Impossible Fallout, to where in Mission Impossible Fallout he's now just flying helicopters for realsies. So, as if Tom Cruise wasn't trying to one-up himself enough, and look, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I mean, if he wants to go down in history as being, like, the most daring actor ever in terms of physicality, then I'm not gonna complain. But now, apparently, Tom Cruise said, you know what? I still haven't done it all. I'm gonna go to space. And so he's actually working with NASA and SpaceX to do a movie where he actually gets to go up in space to film in the space station. I'm not gonna lie to you, Joel. The real shock here for me isn't that he's going to space. the real shock is this isn't This isn't a Mission Impossible movie. This is some other movie. I knew it. Like, I just assumed that in one of these movies, he would, like, in one of those damn Mission Impossible movies, he was going to go to space. But nope. I mean, granted, he still could, but at least his first attempt in going to space isn't going to be in that. It's just going to be in this. It's going to be in this movie. Like, damn.
Yeah. What's funny about it was recently I was reading up on like what they were going to do for the next Mission Impossible film, and like they said Tom Cruise mentioned something about wanting to go to space, and this was before they even announced that there was going to be a movie of him going to space. I'm wondering if this is like a product of Mission Impossible. Like, that's kind of what's interesting about this. I'm like, is this technically a Mission Impossible film just in space, and they're just gonna, I guess, rebrand it? Who knows? But my biggest question is, how are they going to get him on this? Well, okay, like, you, obviously to go to space, you have to have the credentials for it, right? You go to school for God knows 20 years to even get to that opportunity. It's like, but they're just going to let this guy go and walk around the International Space Station just because he's an actor. I'm like, well, I mean, what they're essentially producing is a giant advertisement for NASA. They're going to pull a few strings to get him up there is the thing.
I mean, look, it's Tom Cruise. We knew he was going to go to space at some point. Like, we had to know he was going to do this, like, one way or another. Because, like, again, like I always say, he keeps wanting to one-up himself every chance he gets. And again, I'm not going to blame him for that. I'm not complaining. I love seeing him almost kill himself in every movie he's in. Because, I mean, not because I want Tom Cruise to die, but it's like this guy is trying to make a name for himself as the greatest action star ever. So, like, as much as everyone loves to, praise, Bruce Lee and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and don't get me wrong, those two were really good. None of them ever did the shit that Tom Cruise is trying to do. He is constantly, with every movie, he's trying to figure out new ways to almost kill himself just to entertain the audience. And again, like, it's working. Because again, Mission Impossible Fallout, I thought was one of the most invigorating action movies I'd seen in a long time. Because, like, it's like, Tom Cruise, like, in my head, I mean, I knew he was alright because, I mean, of course, why would he go to interviews and whatnot? But I always kind of clenched my fists and whatnot, or, like, my seat and whatnot whenever I was watching that movie, because I'm like, Tom Cruise is actually in danger in this scene. Like, he's really, real life Tom Cruise could have actually died. Hell, he actually broke his leg. I think he either broke his leg or sprained himself trying to jump off of one building to the next in Mission Impossible Fallout. So it's like, the danger is real. And so I'm one, oh my god, I'm even, I was about to say, I wonder if he's actually gonna go, like, full-on Gravity style and just, go out in a spacesuit and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure he's not gonna do that. I think he's probably just gonna be in the space station where it's secure and whatnot, but still, like, again, from what I've heard, this isn't gonna be Mission Impossible, and for me, that's the most shocking thing, because I knew he was gonna go to space at some point. It just really depended on when. Like, when are they gonna go to space? Like, when's he gonna go to space? I just assumed it was gonna be Mission Impossible. Now, if it does turn out to be Mission Impossible, then my attitude is just gonna be, well, of course, like water is wet. Like, it's not shocking at all. But it's like, again, I always knew that Tom Cruise was gonna go to space, but again, what do you think of, like, Tom Cruise, like, really trying to solidify himself as the action star? Like, the action star. Like, yeah, like, what are your thoughts on just him doing all this and whatnot? What? Ah, dang. Looks like he's gone. Looks like he's gone. Oh, well. But, yeah, guys, what do you think of, I'm going to put the question to you. What do you think of Tom Cruise going to space? Yeah, what do you think of him going to space? Let me know in the comments below, or just say in the chat, and I'll get to your questions here in a bit. And, yeah. Also, apparently, Joel will be back in around 20 minutes or so, yeah. Anyway, guys. Ah, man, that's a funny little thing. Yeah. Man, I do really want his input on some of these things, because I think it's I think it's we'll probably get a chance to ask him some of these topics like once we get into the chat portion of the show. Yeah. We'll try to ask him later on for his topics on these, or his opinions on these matters. Yeah, guys. Anyways, let's go to the next subject. Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi is before I get to Taika Waititi. May the 4th was during the past weekend. I mean the past week, which if you don't know, May the 4th is Star Wars Day. So because May the 4th be with you. Yeah, that's kind of funny. And we got quite a bit of news on May the 4th. A lot of things dropped on May the 4th. For one, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker launched on Disney Plus. The last episode of no, it wasn't the last episode. I think the last episode of Clone Wars was launched on Disney Plus as well. And also the first episode of this new Disney Plus series, Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, which is pretty much like a big documentary series on The Mandalorian and whatnot, which already is very investing, launched. And also we got a bit of Star Wars news. And one of the bits of news that we have is Taika Waititi is going to be directing and co-writing a new Star Wars film. And he's going to be and he's writing, and the reason why I say co-writing is because he's going to be co-writing with Krysty Wilson-Cairn. I hope I got that name right. I don't know if I did. But basically, if you don't know who she is, she's one of the Academy Award nominated screenplay writers for 1917, the war movie. And damn, I will say, like, that's one of the regrets I have over the Nerdy Movie Awards. I really should have nominated 1917 for Best Original Screenplay, because that movie's screenplay, there's not a lot of dialogue, but man, the way they write the events in that film is, wow, it's great. And the fact that she's going to be writing this new Star Wars movie with Taika Waititi, and Taika Waititi's going to be directing it. And if you don't know who Taika Waititi is, Taika Waititi directed and wrote, he directed What We Do in the Shadows. Well, he co-directed it with Jermaine Clement. Which if you haven't seen What We Do in the Shadows, it's a hilarious vampire comedy. It's almost also kind of found footage, like a mockumentary kind of style. It's great. It's really funny. He also directed Thor Ragnarok. He didn't write it, but he did direct Thor Ragnarok, although he is writing Thor Love and Thunder. And he also wrote and directed Jojo Rabbit last year, which for me was like one of the best movies of last year. It was fantastic, and he won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay for Jojo Rabbit. And knowing that he's directing and co-writing a Star Wars movie. Oh yeah, I forgot to also say, he also directed the last episode of season 1 of The Mandalorian. The last episode of season 1 of The Mandalorian. This is great. I love this news. Like, Taika Waititi is not only a really talented director, he can also do drama and comedy so well. And he can do action, considering, what he did with Thor Ragnarok. And not only that, he's familiar with Star Wars. Because, he directed that episode of The Mandalorian, and it was, at least in my opinion, arguably the best episode of the series so far. And I just love this idea. And with this, I'm really hoping this Star Wars movie is sort of like The Mandalorian, where it takes us somewhere else in the galaxy. Away from the characters we already know, just doing something different with Star Wars, because don't get me wrong, I love The Force Awakens. I love The Last Jedi. I really enjoyed Solo: A Star Wars Story. But the Star Wars fandom, at best, has been divisive. It's been divisive at best. And everyone's saying, people were really defensive on The Last Jedi and whatnot, and it's just been really a toxic, this era of Star Wars has been really toxic on the fan side of it, and not from people who just happen to not like The Last Jedi, but people who, just people like bullying Kelly Marie Tran for her role as Rose Tico, not criticizing her performance, but rather actually going out making racial insults towards her, and then people like giving death threats to Ryan Johnson and whatnot. It's just a bad time for Star Wars right now. I feel like what we need to do with Star Wars is take Star Wars away from the characters we already know and just do something else. Do, like, for example, The Mandalorian. We don't know anybody in The Mandalorian. These are all new characters. And everybody, like, not everybody, but like the vast majority of people were on board with The Mandalorian. So, yeah, I feel like what Star Wars needs to do is just take Star Wars in a different direction and just yeah, like just do something different with Star Wars. Do something different. Bring us new characters, new locations. Just tell a different story, and I feel like Taika Waititi could really do that. I mean, so yeah. Anyway, guys, what do you think of Taika Waititi directing this new Star Wars movie, and what do you think of Taika Waititi co-writing this with the co-writer of 1917? Let me know in the chat and the comments down below. And so yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, we have some more Star Wars news, and it's Mandalorian Season 2. Mandalorian Season 2 is one of the most anticipated shows of the year. Like, one of the most anticipated seasons of the year right now. Everyone loved Mandalorian Season 1. Everyone wants to go like, wow, what's Mandalorian Season 2 going to be like? And, I mean, same with me. And one thing that was really impressive about Season 1 of The Mandalorian was the directors that they had attached. Like, Dave Filoni was going to be directing his first 2 episodes of anything live action with The Mandalorian. Granted, there were a couple of the weaker episodes, but he is just starting, and I feel like this is a good place to kind of let him, do his thing. But, they also had Bryce Dallas Howard, who is making, I mean, it's not really her directorial debut, but it's definitely one of the big major things she's directing. And, like, what's his name? Rick Famuyiwa, who directed Dope. Like, he's directing, he directed an episode of The Mandalorian. And you also, like I said, they had Taika Waititi directing an episode of The Mandalorian. But yeah, today, Season 2, they're not bringing in Taika Waititi because, I mean, granted, he's kind of stuck right now doing this new movie he's doing with, I think, Michael Fassbender. He's also doing Thor: Love and Thunder, and then this new Star Wars movie. He's just not going to have any time to do Mandalorian Season 2, so, yeah. But we do have the list of who's going to be directing the episodes of Mandalorian Season 2. We have Jon Favreau, which I'm really excited for, because you know how much I love Jon Favreau as a director, especially nowadays with Jungle Book and Lion King. I'm so excited for this. What's his name? Dave Filoni's going to be coming back to direct a couple of episodes. Bryce Dallas Howard's coming back to direct. I don't know if it's a couple of episodes, but like, what's it like? Yeah, Dave Filoni's coming back to direct an episode, coming back to direct. Bryce Dallas Howard's coming back to direct. Rick Famuyiwa is coming back to direct. Another one is Carl Weathers. He's going to be directing either an episode or episodes of The Mandalorian Season 2, which is really fascinating considering he was one of the cast members of Mandalorian Season 1. And now he's going into directing. So that's interesting. I don't know if he's directed other things before. I might be, I might just be stupid, but we also have Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed's going to be directing an episode of The Mandalorian Season 2, where he's going to be directing, if you don't know who Peyton Reed is Peyton Reed is the guy who directed the Ant-Man movies. He directed the Ant-Man movies. And he also directed the movie Yes Men with Jim Carrey. And so that's really cool. And also, probably the most shocking one on here, Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez is directing an episode of The Mandalorian. And initially I would have been like, because I'm not really that big a fan of Robert Rodriguez as a director. But I will say, I did really enjoy Alita Battle Angel. I will just say, I think Alita Battle Angel is his best movie yet. It felt very different from what he usually does, and it actually had production value. Granted, I haven't seen Sin City yet, so I can't say for that, but if he brings to this, what he brought with Alita Battle Angel, color me excited. Like I would love to. I always love seeing directors get better, like actors get better and directors get better. I just love that. I think it's really cool. Um, Again, I'm really excited for Jon Favreau's episodes of The Mandalorian because he's just a stupidly talented director. He's just stupid with talent. And again, like it's just I just really like the way I just really like it. I really like the directors that they choose for these episodes of The Mandalorian. They're like some of them are big names, some of them are smaller names. At least in terms of directing, like we all know who Bryce Dallas Howard is, but we don't really. She hasn't really directed many things. This is a good place for her to get better at directing and whatnot. And same thing with Dave Filoni. And so yeah. And hell, I could probably even say the same thing for Robert Rodriguez. If Robert Rodriguez keeps this up, then we could see more great things out of him. So, yeah, guys. Yawning. So, blah, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on the directors for Season 2 of The Mandalorian? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. And, yeah, let's get on to our next subject. It was just announced yesterday that also in Mandalorian Season 2... Boba Fett is going to be in there. Like, Boba Fett's going to make an appearance in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. This is pretty interesting, for a couple of reasons. Although I will say, right before I talk about this more up front, I don't know how Joel's going to take this, but I'm not really that big on Boba Fett. Like, I don't really see the appeal of Boba Fett in my opinion. It's just like, he never really did anything. I mean, yeah, like, he kind of just stood there. He kind of just stood there and did things, but, like, he never did anything. Like, everyone was saying he's the world's most fearsome bounty hunter in the galaxy. Like, you don't want to fuck with Boba Fett. I wish you'd give me a reason to not fuck with Boba Fett, because I'm not seeing anything. I just never got the appeal for Boba Fett. It's like, Boba Fett? Like, he doesn't do anything. Like, I hate to say, like, oh, well, no, I'm not gonna make that comparison. But, like, it's like, for as much praise as everyone gives Boba Fett, he just doesn't do anything. It's like with the original Shere Khan in the Jungle Book. Not the remake with, where Idris Elba played him. No, like, that version of Shere Khan was way better. But, like, I never really got why everyone loved Shere Khan in the original Jungle Book, because everyone talked about how tough he was, how bad he was, but he didn't do anything. He was he never gave us a reason to fear him. And this is the same thing with Boba Fett. They never really gave us a reason to fear Boba Fett. I'm like, I don't give a shit about Boba Fett. So I don't have any kind of ties to Boba Fett. Like, I don't really give a shit that much about Boba Fett. However, they could in Mandalorian, because, like, Mandalorian, like, this is the chance to have us see Boba Fett as the bounty hunter you don't want to mess with. Like, you don't want to mess with Boba Fett. And I feel like this could be a good opportunity for us to see that. Now, granted, I will say, seeing the events of Return of the Jedi, I'm actually kind of surprised that Boba Fett's going to be appearing in this. Now, again, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to give away spoilers. Yeah, but it will be interesting to see what they do with Boba Fett for Mandalorian Season 2. It will be interesting to see, like, how they present him in this. Again, I hope they give him something to do. I hope they have him do something that's worthy of him being the most fearsome bounty hunter in the galaxy. Because, again, currently, I just don't give a shit about Boba Fett. I just really don't. So, yeah, guys. What are your thoughts on Boba Fett appearing in Mandalorian Season 2? Do you think it's going to be a flashback? Do you think it's going to be, like, at least in that world present day? Let me know your thoughts in the chat, and, yeah. I don't know why I keep saying yeah, but... Now, our next topic is something that's not quite movie-related, but I found really interesting. I mean, granted, it could affect movies in the future, but basically, there's like this new technology that I just discovered. It's on a YouTube channel, And the YouTube channel, as well as this technology, is called voice synthesis or vocal synthesis. And basically, what this is you know how deepfakes, like you could put someone else's face on your on another person's body. Like there was this really freaky one I saw of someone putting Steve Buscemi's face on Jennifer Lawrence. It was freaky. Vocal synthesis is pretty much the audio equivalent of that. Again, look this up. Look it up on YouTube. You look up the channel Vocal Synthesis and look at some of their videos. Basically, vocal synthesis is like they take like you put out you type in some text, and when it comes to the actual speech, it's like creating like mixing the voice in a way where it sounds like someone saying that stuff. Like, for example, they have quite a few videos like President Donald Trump reading "The Tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise," and same thing with Martin Luther King Jr. or John F. Kennedy saying how you need to have a certain IQ in order to understand Rick and Morty. That one's actually pretty funny. Or there's other ones like Barack Obama saying, or actually no, it was Bill Clinton saying, what was it? Like Bill Clinton was saying, I like big butts, I cannot lie. Other brothers can't deny. Like that song, you know, I ain't, whatever the butt song is, like the butt song, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Like him singing that song or whatever. Even though it's not really him singing, it's him speaking the songs. Oh, is he back? Are you back?
I'm back.
All right, cool. We'll probably discuss more about the topics he missed.
No, that's fine.
I
just had to like my internet was being weird and I had to like go unplug my router and plug it back in.
All right, but yeah, we'll talk about like some of like the Star Wars news once we get to like the live chat questions and whatnot. But basically, what I'm talking about right now is vocal synthesis, this new technology where basically it takes typed text and you mix it in a way where it sounds like someone is actually saying that. Like, for example, I was giving some examples, like Donald Trump saying, like telling the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise, or Martin Luther King Jr. talking about Darth Plagueis the Wise, or you know John F. Kennedy saying how you need to have a certain IQ point in order to understand Rick and Morty. Like, it's like this is real technology that's being developed, and the YouTube channel I think is called Vocal Synthesis, and it is shockingly good at doing that. I don't know if you got a chance to watch those videos, but what are your thoughts on vocal synthesis and how it could be mixed in with even deepfakes within like 10 years or something like that if the opportunity were to arise?
I saw one of those videos. It may have been on the same channel of someone using that technology to make it sound as if Joe Rogan was speaking.
I think
it may have been. Yeah, it may have been on the same channel, but like this was about a few months ago. It blew my mind. I'm like, the whole deepfake thing with like the faces and now voices. That is super scary because it's a lot easier. I think it'd be easier to manipulate people with a voice rather than like with the face. Like I don't know. Like that's super.
Yeah, I am a little bit mixed on this because on one hand, yeah, this is kind of crazy how we can like I said, like who would have ever thought Donald Trump would be telling the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise, or John F. Kennedy would be making fun of people who don't like Rick and Morty. It's like this is some pretty crazy technology. And now, granted, I don't think right now we're able to create emotions out of those voices. It's just straight on reading. But I'm telling you this, before this decade is over, the 2020s, we're going to get to that point. We're going to be able to simulate, I believe we'll be able to simulate emotions. And I think there's pros and cons to this. Like, for example, if you wanted to do a biopic of somebody, it'd be really interesting to see like a biopic of somebody, and you actually sort of resurrect them with deepfakes and voice synthesizers. I mean, now, like, doing it like that, I feel like would be useful. However, if you were to do it like how they're doing it with like what's his name, James Dean, where like it's not even a character he played in another movie, or it's not even playing himself, it's just a random character. Yeah, that'd be useless. But I will say it is like on your point. It would be kind of crazy to show like you make it look like somebody was doing something or saying something really bad, and it's like, especially with how good these things are starting to get. Like we're like, I swear, there's not a lot of them, but there's a couple of deepfakes that are kind of hard to figure out if they're real or not. Now, granted, uh, again, but in a few years, I guess, like, again, within before the decade's over, I do think we're going to be able to we're going to be able to create digital human beings almost flawlessly. Which I
Imagine
think,
what this. Oh God.
I mean, like, again, like in terms of like making movies, this could be innovative, especially if you're trying to do biopics. But on like, scandal end, this could be problematic. But anyway, what were you about to say?
I was gonna say what this means for like music in general, like being able to like maybe resurrect a certain pop star like Tupac or like Michael Jackson. Like imagine that.
Yeah, that's where I feel like it would be kind of useless because it's like, well, the person's not actually there. The reason why I would be like okay with it like a biopic is because you're what like it's supposed to be like this person in the movie and you're watching them grow up and whatnot, but it's like I don't know, like if like are you talking about like making new songs and having these singers quote unquote perform them?
Yeah, like bringing back like a voice of someone who's dead.
Yeah, that would be a little bit like that would be kind of like oh yeah that would be kind of strange. Again, right? Like we're just in like the early stages of vocal synthesization, because like I said, we right now can't really do we can't pull off emotions as of yet. Like we can't really do emotions, but in the future we could. Again, it can be funny for something like I said. It is kind of funny hearing, John F. Kennedy talking about how you need to have a certain IQ point in order to understand Rick and Morty. But it is really crazy that we can now pretty much make anyone sound like they're saying something. It really is crazy, and I'm telling you, man, this is only going to get even crazier 10 years from now. I can't even imagine what they're going to be able to do 10 years from now. Like, it's going to be nuts. So
Well, in
that's
10 years from yeah, and I was gonna say in 10 years from now, they're probably gonna have to come up with some type of law or something that
they
like
will.
only like allows people like like at which circumstances people can use that technology. It's like, hey, if you're gonna use this to for defamation or like something like that, like that's they got to be able to be real careful with that because that technology is already starting to get like incredibly accessible.
Yeah, but at the same time, uh, how do you, like how will we know if someone gets caught? If someone's going to be caught? Because or like what I mean by that is like, what if something comes out about somebody, but it didn't really happen? So, but like, how do you prove that? Like, how do you prove that someone saying something on camera, or even if it like, how do you prove if that's real or not? If it gets that good, like that's the thing. Like, if it gets to the point where we won't be able to tell the difference, it's like how do you prove that what that whole thing is fake or not? Because we have some really even today we still have some pretty crappy audio. We like recording devices, and again, it's just gonna be really tough. It will be really tough to decipher what's real and what's not. Or if someone does say something really horrible, how do you prove like it's gonna be like it's go like how do you prove that like how do you like I don't know. It's just like it is really scary technology. Again, on some points it's really cool technology. It is innovative, but on other points it is kind of scary, like you were suggesting. Again, we'll just have to wait and see what happens because we are going to be able to resurrect people one of these days fully, and it will be really crazy to see where this all leads. What do you guys think of this? Yeah, what do you guys think of the possibility of of vocal synthesization. What do you think of like the benefits would be? What do you think the disadvantages would be? Let me know your thoughts down below, and let me know let me know in the chat. Um, let's see. I have this extra thing I'm gonna do, which is the worst movies of the 2010s. Do you think I should put like a little break thing there, or do you think I should just jump right into it?
I think it's going to be like a lengthy thing to like in detail talk about like the top 10 movies. I would suggest having a like a time limit here for yourself to talk about each movie.
Oh, I was just like, do you think I should probably like have a? Do you think I should probably have like a be right back thing, like a little break, like a little like having a little break in between, like before I get into the top 10, or do you think I should just jump right into it?
Um, I would have a little bit of a break. That's just me personally.
All right, we're gonna take a little bit of a break. We're gonna take a little bit of a break here. Use the bathroom, get yourself something to drink and whatnot. And I think I will be right back. Yeah, we'll be right back at around let's say 5 o'clock. Yeah, we're at a little bit like 4 minutes or so. So yeah, guys, just stay tuned and we'll be back at 5. Alrighty, guys. Well, I do want to try to say something. Consider like this happened during the break. Joel's not gonna be here for the rest of the stream. He had to go. Like I said, he just finished graduating and whatnot, and he's moving and whatnot. Apparently, like it's a really hectic thing right now. But he said he'll try to join us next time in full. But yeah, guys. Looks like I'm flying solo for the rest of the stream here. But yeah, we're going to be now discussing, at least what are in my opinion, the top 10 worst movies of the 2010s. Because I really want to try to start doing more top 10 lists here, guys. I really want to try to start doing more top 10 lists. And I feel like this is a really cool avenue for me to do it and whatnot. So, yeah. I probably need to watch a few more movies before I give you my top 10 best movies of the 2010s. But I could definitely try to tell you the ones I think are the worst. Because the 2010s I think have been the best decade for movies. Because like more than ever, more people can have their voices heard. More theaters have opened and whatnot. So, there like more people can show their movies, and there's also streaming. It's also like it's a very good time for the movies right now. And so yeah, but that also means there's also a lot of really shitty movies that have come out. And yeah, so and we're gonna be talking about those movies now. I will say there's only one major criteria here, and it is these movies have to have been shown in theaters. These are not straight to DVD releases. These are not straight to streaming releases. These were shown in theaters, whether it be wide release or limited release. These were shown in theaters, and my God, these movies are awful. Because like I'm not gonna go with like what everyone want. Like I'm not gonna go with like what everyone says. Like the popular movies that got bad reviews. Like none of the Transformers movies are gonna be on here. Last Airbender's not gonna be on here. I'm trying to think of any other popular movies that got bad reviews that people would normally say like some of the worst movies of the decade. I'm trying to think right now Holmes and Watson's not gonna be on here. Jack and Jill's not gonna be on here. What is it? Grown Ups 2 isn't gonna be on here. After Earth isn't gonna be on here. Just like none of those movies are gonna make it into my top 10 worst movies of the decade. Because for example, The Last Airbender. The Last Airbender, I don't think The Last Airbender is a good movie. I think it's bad, but I don't think it's that bad. I don't think for me it's not that top tier level of bad. It's not up there. But I will say these movies I just think are just way worse. Yeah. And keep in mind, this is all my opinion. All film is completely subjective. This is all my opinion. You don't have to agree with them or not. But these are, in my opinion, the top 10 worst movies of the 2010s decade. I don't see how it could possibly get any worse than these movies. And I will explain to you guys why I think these movies are so terrible. And, yeah, let's see if everyone's back and whatnot. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let's get down to number 10, which is The Hurricane Heist. This is out of this entire list, I'd probably say this is the most boring movie on this list. The Hurricane Heist, my God, it's so dull. It's so crazy how this really should write itself. A bank heist during a hurricane. And somehow, this manages to be one of the worst action movies I've ever seen in my life. I never want to say, oh, I want to walk out. I never walk out of movies, and I still didn't walk out of the theater with this one. But man, I really wanted so badly to walk out of The Hurricane Heist. It was that boring. It was that dull. Holy shit. The effects were bad. The pacing was the worst, and that's what I mean by how boring it was. The pacing was just the worst thing ever. I could never I could never sit through this movie again. Not once. Like, I could sit through some of these other movies, even though I don't think this is as bad as some of the as those others, but man, oh man, how boring the Hurricane Heist was. So, yeah, guys, my number 10 worst movie of the decade is the Hurricane Heist. So, yeah, fear, the Hurricane Heist is that bad. Number 9 is Norman the North, Keys to the Kingdom. As if the first one couldn't get any worse. This one, second, somehow manages to be even worse than the first one, with even worse animation, an even more sloppy story, even more sloppy writing. This really was, I swear to God, this was not going to be a movie. This was going to be this was going to be a Norman the North TV series, and, because, like, the two halves of this movie, I swear to God, like they're like 2 episodes of a Norman North series, and they just so happened, and like they weren't, and then I guess like they probably weren't going to do the Norman North series, so it's like, okay, let's just cram both these episodes together for a movie, and this was originally going to be a straight to DVD movie. This was originally going to go straight to DVD and streaming, but somehow this managed to make it into theaters, and so that's why Norman the North, Keys to the Kingdom is on this list. Number 8 is the worst movie I saw last year, and it's Unplanned. This is the supposed true story of a lady who worked for a Planned Parenthood company, and she saw the horrors of Planned Parenthood. She just the absolute worst things about it. And this treats Planned Parenthood and abortion and whatnot like treating it like Saw or something like that. This movie is so horrifyingly just brutal in no good way, shape, or form. Like, it does not need to be like this. And I'm usually not this kind of nitpicky when it comes to biopics, but really, when you look at the real story of this lady, you see a lot of strange things. Like, some of the things that she says, it's like, nah, that's not true. And it completely falsifies the entire narrative of this person. Like, at least with Bohemian Rhapsody and the changes that it made, like, at the very least, it was done to enhance Freddie Mercury's story. It was done, it wasn't major changes that changed the character of Freddie Mercury. This does change the character of this lady. This whole thing is just disgusting. It is these movies, these PureFlix movies, they get so bad, and this is, for me, the worst of the PureFlix movies, because this could this is the only one I think could actually hurt people. This one could actually just full on, make people scared, hurt them, and it's just, I just can't imagine what this could do to people. That's how bad I think Unplanned is. It's offensive, it's disgusting, it's just everything I hate about a movie. So yeah, Unplanned is definitely number 8. Now, number 7 and number 6 are still going to be, I'm going to be talking about 7 and 6 in the same spot. Or at least at the same time. Because they're pretty much the same movie. They are ranked as to which one I think is worse, but really, when I'm talking about Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, and Death of a Nation, I have to talk about them side by side. Because this pretty much, this does something even worse than, an inaccurate biopic. I can handle inaccurate biopics for the most part. I can't, handle inaccurate or biased documentaries. And look, I'm not coming into this with the mentality of the Democrats, and look, I'm going to try my best not to get political here, or at least give my political opinions. But I will say, if you wanted to criticize the Democrats for shit, you could do that. There's many stuff you can criticize the Democrats over. But this movie doesn't want to take it in a smart angle. This wants to make straw man's arguments that are sometimes not even accurate. Sometimes they don't even give good context to it, or they leave stuff out. And that's what's frustrating about these two movies. Like for example, with Hillary's America, and all this has to do with the guy, the man, the myth, and the legend, Dinesh D'Souza. Like, this guy, like a political commentator turned criminal turned documentary filmmaker. These movies really represent what he stands for and what kind of person he is. Because, again, if you don't know, Dinesh D'Souza is a piece of shit. Like, he really is. Like, Dinesh D'Souza claims he fights for good in the world, even though when you look at some of this shit, he really doesn't. From making fun of children who survived school shootings to being really racist towards people. Not only being racist towards people, but right there in those two things, being racist towards people of Indian descent, even though he himself is of Indian descent. So pretty much he just cucks people of Indian descent. And no, not Native American Indian, like Indian. Like, I don't refer to Native Americans as Indians because they're not Indians. I never understood that. Like, why would you call a Native American an Indian even though they're not from India? I mean, I know why, but I'm just like, why would you still call them that? Whatever. This guy's so stupid and racist. He makes fun of his own people. And not only that, but he also wrote a book called The End of Racism, where I'm just gonna wait for, like, I'm gonna look over here. Actually, wait, no, I could probably just pull it out right here. Yeah. Basically, he wrote a book called The End of Racism, where he really says some really racist shit. For example, I'm just gonna read this little excerpt right here. Actually, Fogel and Engerman's critics had a point. Reading Time on the Cross by itself, slavery appears such a relatively mild business that one begins to wonder why Frederick Douglass and so many others ever tried to escape. Pretty much what he's saying right there is, pretty much what Dinesh D'Souza is suggesting is that black people benefited from slavery. Which is some horribly racist shit that he completely, and I'm just like, what? And he tries to say with these movies that the Democrats are all racist and whatnot, and look, there is some truth to some of the things he says. Like, for example, the Democrats were indeed the ones trying to keep slavery during the Civil War. That is true. And it was true that the founders of the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK, were Democrats back then. But he fails to realize that. But what Dinesh D'Souza fails to realize is that time changes context. Time absolutely changes context. And because, like, if it didn't, Bill Cosby would still be America's dad. Everyone would still be praising Kevin Spacey. But that's not how the world works. When times change, you must be able to change your opinions based on the new context. Like, yes, back then, Klan members were Democrats. But, if I'm not mistaken, in 2016, I'm pretty sure the Ku Klux Klan wasn't endorsing the Democratic nominee. And I'm not saying that all Republicans are racist either. Again, I'm not getting into that kind of political discussion here. But what I'm saying is that Dinesh D'Souza, with these movies, completely fails to realize that time changes context. Time 100% changes the context of things today. Yeah, the Ku Klux Klan was founded by Democrats, but obviously they don't think that way now. They're not Democrats now. But D'Souza doesn't care about that. D'Souza only cares about getting his agendas across, no matter how accurate or inaccurate his information is, or if he's even getting things right. He only wants to say things that will please his audience, no matter if it's true or not, because his audience will believe anything that he says. And I know this because when I tried to explain to someone that who saw Death of a Nation in theaters, that the Ku Klux Klan endorsed Donald Trump, and obviously they weren't Democrats anymore. They had no knowledge of that. Because again, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about, like, his support, like D'Souza's followers. And again, I'm not saying it's all it's all Republicans. I'm just saying D'Souza's followers. They don't give a shit if anything is accurate or not. They just don't give a shit. All they want to hear is stuff that they want to hear. And these movies just show that. These movies just exploit that. And so, yeah, for me, the 7 and 6 worst movies of the 2010s, I think, are Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, and Death of a Nation. So, yeah. Number 5 is The Trump Prophecy. Again, another movie that's just trying to preach to the choir, and more specifically, not just the hardcore conservative choir, but also the hardcore Christian choir. Because if you don't know what the Trump Prophecy is about, the Trump Prophecy is the supposed true story of a firefighter who went into retirement, and however he gets like nightmares every night and whatnot, and one night, God, who is apparently the moon, just appears on his bed and tells him that Donald Trump is going to become the next president of the United States, and that he's going to make America great again. And that inspires a prayer movement that got Donald Trump elected as president of the United States. This movie is hilarious in how stupid it is. It's like, this is, I think, this decade's The Room. The Trump Prophecy is so funny with how dumb it is. Like, everything about this is hokey. The filmmaking is hokey. The dialogue is hokey. The story is hokey. The acting is hokey. Nothing about this movie is right. And even then, like, this movie also ends, like, 2/3 of the way through the runtime. And not only that, yeah, it ends, like, halfway through. No, not halfway through. 2/3 through the movie, and how do I describe it? How do I describe it? After the movie's finished, it goes on for like 30 more minutes. Where like for 10 minutes, it has like a full-on like montage of country Christian songs with the visuals of like some really like patriotic images, like cornfields and American flags and families of veterans who died in war, just looking at the pictures of their families, just going, I mean, like, what? Again, I'm not trying to make fun. I'm not at all making fun of the people who lost their families during wartime. That's obviously very sad, and it really is. But in terms of putting that in a movie, it's just so corny and dumb. It's like, why would you put this in a movie? Everything about the Trump Prophecy is so dumb and stupid, but honestly, I was laughing so hard. Like, this movie couldn't be any more ridiculous and funny. And so that's why the Trump Prophecy is at number 5 of the worst movies of the decade. Number 4 is Voiceless, another movie that just fucking offends me on every level whatsoever. Basically, what this is about a former veteran who's trying to shut down a women's health clinic. And he's supposed to be the good guy, yet he harasses the workers and the patients, trying to scare them with images of this girl who committed suicide after getting an abortion. It's the most sick thing I've ever seen in my life. This movie is so sickening with its message. And also, it completely fails to realize that you do realize that women's health clinics don't just do abortions. Like, they do other things as well. Like, just general women's health and whatnot. Like, I don't want to get into specifics, but it's just like, this movie is just, gah. I just don't understand how anyone could support a movie like this. This is so horrifically, like, bad, and I'm still to this day shocked that this this character right here is made to be the good guy. Like, this guy really would have been the villain in the situation. And it's just like, oh my god. And it does things I always hate in these movies, where it's like guilt tripping you in order to support their cause. And it's like, I'm sorry, I do not take guilt tripping lightly. I don't. I hate guilt tripping. It's stupid. I hate it. You can say your message or whatever or whatnot, but don't try and guilt trip me to do that, because then you're trying to make me look like an asshole for believing what I believe. And it's just making you look like an asshole for resorting to guilt tripping. And this movie is just so horrible. And even the way it's shot, like, I'm surprised people want to try to criticize Man of Steel or Batman vs. Superman for their color grading. The color grading in this is so obnoxious. Like, there's barely even any color in this. It's so disgusting to look at. The camera work is so gross. This is just a really horrible movie. And don't support Voiceless. This movie is just like, oh god. Anyways, that's number 4. Number 3 is Camp Death 3 in 2D, which, ironically enough, Camp Death 3 is not even a sequel to anything. It's just called Camp Death 3 for no reason. Now, ironically enough, this is actually the first ever screener I got. This is the first ever screener I got, and the guy did say, the guy who directed the movie, Matt Frame, did say that this was released in some theaters. And again, I'm not criticizing him, I'm just criticizing the movie in of itself. But how did this get released in theaters? How did this get released in theaters? This movie is so horrible, so not funny. Like, the editing is obnoxious. The acting is obnoxious. The writing is obnoxious. The directing is obnoxious. The effects are obnoxious. Everything about this is so bad and so cheap. And I get that's the point, but it's just so disgusting. I'm just like, good God, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, I've not seen a comedy this bad in a long time. It's just, I just don't know how to describe this movie. It's just everything I hate in a bad comedy. It's like, I get that they're trying to make this as wacky and silly as possible, but man, this has no idea how to be wacky and silly. This is just annoying. This is just straight up annoying. I honestly don't know what else to say about Camp Death 3. It's just that bad. It's so just unfunny and just annoying on every sense whatsoever. Anyways, let's get on to number 2. And number 2 is 12 Pole Manor, or as it was initially called, 12 Pole. It was initially just called 12 Pole, but I actually saw this movie in theaters, and weirdly enough, this was actually shown this was actually filmed in West Virginia. And I saw this at my local movie theater, and I got to meet the director, Sam Hodge, which, yeah, he's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy. Holy shit, I can't believe this was released in theaters. I couldn't believe this. Because, like, this movie is, like, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I was befuddled. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, the camera work is not only bad, but the camera is really bad. The sound editing and mixing is some of the most ear-gratingly annoying audio I've ever heard in my life. It is so bad. It was so bad, I actually had to cover up my ears in order to stop myself from hearing this. Because if you were to ever watch this movie, and it is on Amazon Prime, oh my god, I could not believe how bad the audio was. It's not scary. It's overly gory to an annoying level, not even to a clever level. Like some movies can do gore with cleverly, but this is just not. It's just cheap looking. It's just unpleasant. There's no real purpose to it. It's just blood and gore. But it's like Hellboy. There's no narrative purpose to the blood and gore. It's just there for no reason. I hate this movie so much. With every bit of my being, I really, really hate 12 Pole Manor. And I hate saying this because Sam Hodge is a cool guy, but oh my god, I hope he does better things than this. I really hope he does. And my number one worst movie of the decade is Birdemic: Shock and Terror. Now, the sequel would have been on here, except it wasn't released in theaters. But Birdemic was shown in theaters, which is so weird to say that this movie actually came out 10 years ago. Because it does not feel that way. It feels like it came out in like the early 2000s. But wow. Everything about this movie fails on every level whatsoever. Like, oh my god, if you want to talk about bad audio mixing and bad audio editing, holy shit, this is so bad at that. You want to talk about visual effects? This movie has the worst visual effects I've ever seen in my entire life. And we're probably going to be seeing the visual effects here in a second, but man, I could not believe how bad this movie was. It is just as bad as everyone says it is. Everything about this is so awkward. The dialogue is just so unnatural. The acting is so awkward. Like, it's just, the camera work is so bad. The plot elements don't make any sense whatsoever. I am so befuddled by this movie. I am so befuddled by how bad a movie like this could be. Like, Birdemic: Shock and Terror is so bad. Like, it's honestly the second worst movie I've ever seen in my life. The only one that I think could be worse is, like, Manos: The Hands of Fate, which came out in, like, the 60s. But, like, this one's the only one I think was actually worse. I mean, no. This is the only one. Like, this is this is, in my opinion, the second worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And definitely the worst movie by far I saw in the 2010s decade. And so there you have it, guys. Those are, at least in my opinion, the top 10 worst movies of the 2010s that I saw. All of these are so bad. All of these, it's shocking how bad they are. It's honestly unbelievable. It really is. But, hey, I would suggest watching these movies, and here's why. I would suggest watching these movies so you can have a real idea as to what bad movies can, and how bad movies can be. Because, like I said, a lot of people want to settle with, like, Last Airbender being one of the worst movies of the decade, or Batman vs. Superman, or, Jack and Jill, or Twilight, or 50 Shades of Grey. No, you need to get yourself educated. You need to watch these movies before. Well, if you want to get a sense of what bad truly is, at least in my opinion, you gotta watch these movies, because it'll only strengthen your senses. It will only strengthen your senses as to how bad film can actually get. And so, yeah, guys, those are my main topics. Those are the topics we have for this episode of the Hannahcast. Now, as per usual, we're going to get into the live chat questions. It's question time, everybody. Woohoo! Let's get some claps in there. It's question time. Let me just get a drink real quick. So yeah, guys, send your questions in, and send your questions in, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion going on, like talking about any of the topics here. Again, Joel's not here to discuss any further, but you know, yeah. So yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at some questions. Let's see. Hi everyone. Hi. Next SpongeBob personal. Like I've never seen National Treasure. Neither have I. Spectacular Ultimate Spider-Man says, can't wait to see Boba Fett in The Mandalorian. I'm so excited. Again, I don't really give a shit about Boba Fett all that much, so. Wait, is he really? Yes, he is really. He is really. This is making me go see a Mission Impossible movie. Look, go see the Mission Impossible movies. I mean, granted, the only one I saw was Mission Impossible Fallout, and I thought Fallout was amazing. I thought Fallout was great. So yeah. The Amazing Film Guy says, I want to see what stunt he does. I mean, I think the stunt is going to space. I love the sequels, but the Amazing Film Guy says, I love the sequels, but I think they need to stop making movies for a while. Well, I have no idea what you're talking about, so, yeah. I would like to see some hints of where it takes place in Star Wars. If you're referring to the Taika Waititi movie, I'm pretty sure we will eventually. Again, this Star Wars movie is probably not going to happen for a while, because again, Taika Waititi has 2 other movies he's got to do. He's got to do this one movie with Michael Fassbender, and he's got to do Thor 4, and then he'll get to do the Star Wars movie. So it's going to be a while. I hope Clancy Brown is going to be in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I mean, well, if he has a place in Mandalorian Season 2, then cool. I mean, it all really depends on if it's needed in the story. And what character he's playing. Like, it depends on, like, you know, what character is he playing? What character would he play? And does his character serve a purpose? Because you don't want to do things without giving them a narrative purpose. That's how you get Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker. So yeah. Nick SpongeBob Personal says, I liked Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Well, I mean, he's only been in those movies. Like, those are the only movies that Boba Fett has been in. But again, I never got the appeal for Boba Fett. I've never gotten the appeal for Boba Fett. He does nothing in those movies. He does nothing. He just stands around with a gun going... Like, he doesn't do anything in those movies. I don't get why everybody loves Boba Fett so much. Like, what's so appealing about him? I mean, yeah, he kind of looks cool, but he doesn't do anything. I just don't get that about Boba Fett. I just don't. Again, maybe the Mandalorian Season 2 can have him do some actual cool stuff, but it's just like, I never got the appeal for Boba Fett. But, yeah, in terms of, you know, that comment, it's like, he's only, like, those are the only movies he's been in. Like all the movies you put in there, in those movies, it's like, I mean, yeah, those are all the movies he was in, so it's like, yeah. Nick SpongeBob Personal says, I didn't like The Last Airbender. Airbender is one word. But only because I haven't seen the show. Oh no! People who have watched the show hate this movie even more than someone who doesn't watch the show. Trust me, I know many people who love The Last Airbender TV series. But, again, it's not that you didn't like it because you didn't watch the show. Trust me, people who have seen the show, if anything, you don't like it, you dislike it, people who have seen the show hate it even more than you did. Like, they are passionate about how much they hate this movie. And look, at some point I'm going to try to see Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series. I'm going to try to watch that. Like, it's going to be on Netflix on the 15th. But again, you know, I just don't think I'm going to hate the movie. I still don't think I'm going to hate the movie because I have seen the movie and I don't like the movie, but I mean I don't hate it. I do think it's bad, but I know like some people were saying to me, "Oh, you'll hate the movie more once you see the show." I don't think so because for example, there's another anime adaptation, and yes, I do consider Last Airbender in anime, even though, like, whatever. There's another anime adaptation that I actually do think is terrible, and I also didn't see the show. And that's Dragon Ball Evolution. I think Dragon Ball Evolution is terrible. And yet I still didn't watch the show. Like, my dislike of the movie, or me liking or disliking a movie, has nothing to do with its source material. Because, again, I didn't see either The Last Airbender or Dragon Ball Evolution, like the shows, but I still hated the Dragon Ball Evolution movie way more than Last Airbender. I just thought it was an overall worse movie, in my opinion, than Airbender. Yeah, trust me, dude. People who have seen Avatar: The Last, people who have seen Avatar, people who have seen the Avatar: The Last Airbender TV series hate the movie way more than you or I. They are passionate about that hate for that movie. So there is that. I'm still not going to see Norman the North movies, but I'll take your word for it. No, watch them. Watch those movies so you can get an idea of what bad truly is. You need to watch it, man. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on Vudu, it's a website called Vudu, VUDU. They actually have Norman the North there for free, and it's not a pirating thing. It's like officially licensed and whatnot. Like it's like free with ads and whatnot. But they do have Norman the North on there. No, watch Norman the North, and you'll see what bad can truly be. I don't want a movie because it's bad. I only want to see a movie if it's good. I mean, I do get that, but I will say, but here's another way I can describe it. It's also like, it's like the bad, like, once I see like really bad movies, like some really shitty movies, it makes me appreciate the good ones even more. Because it's like, wow. Like, because it's like, Avengers Endgame could have turned out to be a disaster. Because again, I've seen the worst. Like, I try to watch the worst so I can appreciate the best even more. So there is that. Clancy Brown was in season 2 of The Mandalorian. Maybe he was. Maybe? Again, I don't remember. But again, if he was in Mandalorian season 1, like, I'm not gonna say he should or shouldn't be in season 2 because I don't know if his character I don't know if season 2 requires the character to be there. And again, I just don't want the character to be there just for the sake of being there instead of, having a good reason to be there. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So, yeah. Anybody got any more topics? Anybody got any more topics? So, oh well, I guess, yeah, looks like, there's not really much going on right now. Alright. Well, guys, I think I might call it a day here for the, Hannahcast and whatnot. Thank you so much for watching. Actually, wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this installment of the Hannahcast. Again, I still need to fix a lot of this stuff right here. Once again, if you have not subscribed already, make sure that subscribe button is gray. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to like and share this video. Share this to your friends. Share this to Twitter. Share this to Facebook. Whatever. But share this video. Sharing will, or share it to your subreddit, or share it to your Reddit or whatever. I don't know. But spreading the word of this channel will only make it grow more. Oopsies. And also, another thing, don't forget to click that bell notification so you can have more notifications for every time I upload or every time I do a stream. Also, because again, we need more subscribers so that one day we can start doing super chats and you can start supporting the channel. When you use the Google Rewards app on your phone, you can do like Google surveys and you can get Google Play revenue from that, and you can use that to send me super chats. Yay! So there is that. But if you do have money to spare, why not consider supporting me on Patreon? We have two tiers. We have a $2 tier and we have a $5 tier. The $5 tier gets you some. The $5 tier will get you the we'll get five like $2. The $2 tier will get you your name in the beginning of my videos, and the $5 tier will get you all the other perks plus that. You will be able to access audio commentaries, which, again, once this lockdown is over, I'm going to start doing them, and I'll upload one episode onto this channel so that you can get a taste of what's going on with these and whatnot, and anything else. And there'll also be like a Patreon exclusive community there. Also, if you don't have Patreon or whatnot, then consider tipping us $5 on streamelements.com/ChrisReviews/tip. There you can send us a message or comment or whatnot, and you'd be helping support the channel. So there is also that. And if you want to follow me on social media to hear my thoughts on things, then follow me on Twitter, which is at Mr_C_Hannah. And like I said, that'll do it for the Hannahcast, everybody. As a great man once said, see ya.